Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. Well, what can I say? We need to give love. If we don't experience love, we feel needy and less whole. We all bottle up our emotions inside if we don't share our love. Like water, it needs to flow. Being loving doesn't mean you'll be weak and vulnerable, but it gives you untapped resources, energy, talents, besides the fact that the world needs it really badly. So hold nothing back. Remember, you're one day closer to the day of your death, and maybe no closer to like letting free the feelings that you have. Are you brave enough to love? So, ways that I think will help is routinely so many people overestimate the threats that they're facing and underestimate the resources that they have within themselves and around themselves. So, if you want to be calm and contented, make feeling good a priority in your life. Live in a relaxing way to the extent that you can. Don't let words come out of your mouth that harm other people. That's a big one. I always say that. In the Jewish tradition, they say it's the quality of your speech that determines whether or not you're worthy of a portion in the world to come. Hear that metaphorically? Yeah. And then keep letting go. Here's where everybody can be like a Buddhist. If you let go a little, you have a little happiness. If you let go a lot, you have a lot of happiness. Let go completely, you have complete happiness. So find that within yourself. And since today is Friday, Friday is my day to give a little PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to make this short and sweet because it's another one of the many metaphors of how you might be able to find balance in your life. So today it's called the three refuges of the Buddha. Mhm. So the first refuge, called the three jewels here, is to take refuge in. What does it mean to be a refugee? Have no place to call home. Like Jesus said, foxes have their holes and birds have their nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. So the spirit ultimately has no place to abide. It manifests itself, but it's also transcendent of everything in form. So the first thing you want to do is understand what is the Buddha nature that everybody has within themselves, which is the same as just consciousness, free from content. So here's Buddha under the bo tree. He took that vow, may my bones turn to dust if I move from this spot before I see the truth. That's called the immovable spot. And of course, the Buddha means the awakened one. It's not projecting any kind of deity on himself. It's just the qualities of the enlightened mind. You can take refuge in that. Even if we all have our own flaws and we're imperfect in many ways, deep down inside there's a core of basic goodness, warmth, care, sanity, humor, friendliness, compassion. Take refuge in that. It'll never fail you. The second thing that they tell you is to take refuge in the Dharma. The Dharma. Mhm. That's the wheel of cosmic law, the cycle of how things are going around. It includes karma. We're all the inheritors of our previous actions. As Buddha says in the Dhammapada, we are what we think, having become what we thought. Like a cart follows the ox that pulls it, so does happiness follow good thinking. We are what we think, having become what we thought. Just as a shadow faithfully tails a person, right? So does negative thinking cause unhappiness to happen. We are what we think, having become what we thought. So once you understand and apply these rules to your life and align yourself, put yourself in accord with the way nature is, then you understand a lot about why your life is the way it is now and how you can design your life to be better in the future, not only for yourself, but for everybody else in contact with you. And then once you understand that you can take refuge in the enlightened qualities of the human mind and in the cosmic law, which is impartial and works for your benefit when you align with it, then the third one is what's called the satsang, the fellowship with truth. Satsanga Swargavasa. Being with people on the path is like a little bit of heaven. So all the people who are practicing not only your own discipline, but anybody making an effort to work on themselves, you can recognize that. Birds of a feather flock together. Your vibe is your tribe, whatever word you want to use, but you recognize that when you're aligned with people whose hearts are open, whose minds are dedicated to their own vision of unity, then you know you've found that place where you can have comfort and peace. And so I don't know if nirvana exists at some other level, but I know at the level of where we're human beings, nirvana helps you to not be compelled by desire, fear, and social obligation. Because as a human being, everybody's going to want things, whether that wanting is for like a new pair of Nikes or wanting enlightened consciousness. So everybody's going to have things that they're afraid of. No human being, it's a normal reaction, one of the emotions that every human being is going to face at different times in their life. And then there's social obligation, all the pulls that are made upon us by our relationships and the commitments we make. But you don't have to be compelled by them. You can choose to deal with desire, fear, and social obligation in a wise and artistic way. And I hope you find your way to do that. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week, God willing.